Evening, everybody. Shri Kumarswami College Ausa heartily greets all the honorable dignitaries and participants here at the virtual platform for the International E-Conference on HR and their role in building emotionally responsible organization. This International E-Conference is organized by Shri Kumarswami College Ausa. Shri Kumarswami College Ausa is run by Shri Mahanta Swami Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Ausa. The college is affiliated to Swami Ramananda Tirth Marathwada University, Nanded. The college, under the academic leadership of Principal Dr. M. Betkar Sir, organizes a series of daily webinars and also the national and international conferences. And today, we all are having an opportunity to listen the international speaker. So in the beginning, I welcome the chairperson and chief organizer of this international conference, Dr. M. Betkar sir. Today, we have the international chief guest and keynote speaker, Honorable Sandy Mora ma'am from Querétaro, Mexico. On behalf of the organizing committee of the college and the international e-conference, I welcome her also. She will join soon among us for the keynote speech. And today we have the session chair, Honorable Principal Dr. Meenakshi Mehra ma'am, who is going to deliver her speech. On behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome you, ma'am, as the session chair.
Thank you so much, sir, for the warm welcome. Thank you. And I really want to thank Bedkar sir for giving the opportunity to listen to such a speaker with such presentation today that HR is important in any organization. So looking forward for it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Prakash sir.
Okay, ma'am. And before the commencement of any conversation or keynote speech, I would like to give introduction of today's chief guest and keynote speaker. Should I give, sir? Okay, sir. Honorable Sandy Mora ma'am, who is going to deliver keynote speech. Before her speech, I would like to give her brief introduction. Sandy Mora ma'am is a speaker, author, trainer, and consultant. She advocates resiliency, emotional responsibility, and happiness. She is the author of Amazon bestseller book, Emotional Alchemy, Art of Transforming Adversity into Gold for Personal Growth. She also has co-authored 2 other books in Latin America. One of them is about employee experience and human talent management. She is Bachelor in Communication Science and Master in Human Potential Development. Sandy Mora ma'am has honed an exceptional approach to personal and organizational well-being. She holds certificate in happiness studies and collaborates with Dr. Tal Ben Shah as the executive manager of the global student and alumni community. She is also certified as Chief Wellbeing Officer by the World Happiness Foundation. Beyond academia, Sandy Mora ma'am collaborates with media platforms in Mexico. She is TEDx speaker. She has her own podcast and actively working on a new book that will guide organizations to become emotionally responsible, placing the happiness and well-being of all stakeholders at the center of strategic vision. This is the brief introduction of today's honorable chief guest and keynote speaker. Sir, should I ask for introduction of the participant from Nigeria? Today we have the international participant delegate from Nigeria. I would like to invite Sunday sir for brief talk and his introduction. Welcome Sunday sir, and tell about you to all us participants.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Sunday Oge. I'm a medical doctor by profession, and I work with University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, Enugu. And I believe in human resources development, and part of why I joined this training is to put myself to get better and also affect lives around me. So it's nice connecting with great minds like all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your participation and for sharing your information and for showing your interest in this international e-conference. The college is organizing a series of webinars, and the main purpose behind the series of webinars and international conferences is to exchange knowledge of different topics, different subjects, which can help the students, researchers, teachers, and to all those who are interested in. So, the college welcomes the participants like you who are interested in the topics and the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
You are welcome. The chief guest and keynote speaker will join soon. Till then, is there anybody who wants to discuss, can come ahead and can discuss about today's topic if he or she wants.
Okay, sir. I just wanted to ask the participants who are joined here and just wanted to know what are their views on HR as a person, because everybody is working in a respective organization and everybody has a respective domain called HR and admin. So different people have their own opinion according to that. So HR plays a very important role in any organization or any firm. It can be related to education or it can be a software industry or respective industry. So I just wanted to know what are their point of views. People have joined from different parts of India and internationally also. So what are their point of view of being an HR team, because they are very much they are not welcomed. HR people are not welcomed in any organization, as far as I know, because they are treated in a very different way, because their way of thinking is very different. So I just wanted to know their point of view. What do you think, guys? Is HR important, and what are your views? What is your experience being into any industry for an HR?
Very good evening, Meenakshi ma'am. This is Professor Badiuddin Ahmad from.
Good evening, sir. How are you? Meeting you after a very long time. How are you, sir?
Thank you so much. As you rightly mentioned, the people are being downloaded by people generally over the finance and marketing. But really speaking, HR is an area where really the marketing and the finance, other areas are they are the actually most important part of any organization, be it educational institutions or industrial organizations, because without whose presence the survival of the any organization is quite difficult. People are having a wrong notion or perception about HR, what HR does. But HR is very important because knowing the potentiality of the candidates right from the recruitment to their induction, then again to their retention, all this starting to the ending. So that's I agree with you. This should be given more priority over as the other functions of the function areas of the management area. As far as industry is concerned, yes, it is very much important because people have to understand as to what kind of people we need, because the talent of one person differ from the other person. So in this regard, this acquisition of the people is becoming more difficult also, because people from different background and having seen these new areas emerging, like HR analytics, all these things. Unless until there people with all these new emerging techniques and emerging what you call knowledge, if they don't really consider, then the marketing and finance and other production, other areas, that really they cannot be so considered. In my opinion, HR is the most important of other function areas of an organization. I think it is a very contemporary topic and also the need of the hour, because here also in this press conference, emotionally responsible. Yes, because he's dealing with a human being, there's a lot of emotional attachment will be there. So for that matter, the HR manager or person are dealing with HR function will have to be very intelligent enough to get the people into the organization. That's why I pursue them.
Absolutely true, sir, because they play a very important part into any organization, because they are the foundation, because they are the people who will bifurcate and scrutinize people for us only, for the organization. I mean, if you can, if we talk about education, yes, they will be the people who will be scrutinizing people from the big crowd, and they will be bringing, teachers, admin, differentiating and bringing that. So yes, that plays a very important role. Any other person would like to speak into that and add more points to this?
Sir, namaste, sir. Sir, namaste. Premlata here, sir, from Karnataka. Just I want to give from my views about the human resource. So as sir has also told, and we are also very much aware, like human resources are the most important and valuable asset for any of the organization. That's what I believe. Because once if our we have n number or we have very different kind, managing the human resource is one of the biggest and the most difficult task for any of the HR manager, because all the employees come from a very different background and from all the different experiences. But only one fellow will be there, like a HR manager. So it is very, very tedious job for him to manage all such kind of people who are assembled in only one organization. And I also believe that functions say like hiring is there, or performance management is there, or safety, or he is the only fellow, or he is the only one person, or the HR manager who will look upon the hiring process, not only confined to the salaries or the relating to the employees' salaries or the incentives, but also is a person who looks after the employees' welfare, who is the person who looks up after the safety, organization development, be it motivating the employees, or be it communicating the employees, training, administration, or be it the benefits or the wellness of the employees, sir. So when you talk about HR manager, he is the person who is not only very much strict enough in maintaining the salaries or the allowances of the employee, but he is also on the other side, if we see, he is the one who is having the proper control, or who works very hard for running the organization's development, sir. And nowadays what we are seeing is here EHR it has come. So about that also in the today's seminar, I am looking forward to know something about the EHR. EHRM tools, techniques have come. So I thought this session will be very much useful, because I am actually I want to attend one of the conference. So I thought this concept will be very, very helpful for me. And yes, yes. Thank you.
Hello, beautiful people. I see that many people are from India. Was in India many times, very beautiful country. And I have this honor to speak today to you about the importance of HR in creating the healthy environment and results in every company, because HR people are those who are in the front. Yes, and their role is very important, because based on their decisions, the company will have those people who can impact the growth, or vice versa, who can prevent the growth. So let's speak today about the role of HR from the perspective of mindset. We know that companies have many trainings. They do many trainings, and they teach people how to succeed, how to be more efficient. But it is important to know that we don't do what we know, but what is programmed in our subconscious mind. So for people who work in HR, they should understand how the mind works. It is not what the person learned from educational institute, like from university, because our education system is based on just knowing information. Yes, we learn from school and university how to read things, remember things, and repeat the things, right? Repeat that knowledge, and this is how we get our grades. But when it comes to real life and to practice and to providing real value for the company, it is not what people know, but it is what they do and how they do, how they can work with other people as a part of a team, how they can lead people, how they become true leaders. So people who work in HR department, they should know that the main focus should be mindset of the people who they invite and who they qualify to a certain position. Because if the person has the best education in the world, but he has not good mindset, I mean that he has limiting beliefs, or he has negative attitude, or he negative attitude towards himself, or maybe towards other people. Yeah, maybe he doesn't he thinks always that he has to compete instead of create and collaborate and support each other. So this will play very negative role in the company. So let's speak about which criteria we should put attention when we qualify people for certain roles. So the first criteria, if we want the person to have this position and be effective in this position, do the best, we should know about his attitude. So we should have some questions which will qualify this person as a positive member of this team, of this company. And the person should have the right attitude towards himself. He should see himself as initiative, as productive. He should believe in himself that he can succeed. So when we speak with this person, we can see that he believes in himself and he comes to provide the value and he wants to grow. This is another second point, that the person should want to grow and he wants to provide more value than he is paid for. Because if person is has this attitude, he will want to do more, because he see himself as a very efficient and important part of the company success. And even before that, the person should have a goal. We all can imagine the boat which is drifting without goal. And even if this boat is made from very like expensive wood, and maybe it is very even has many things in it, right? Installments, like knowledge from people can have from Harvard or other universities. Let's imagine this boat has so many different technologies, but it has no wheel. It has nobody like guiding this boat. It has no navigation system. So if imagine this boat will be in the ocean, just drifting, where this boat will come. And this is very important to have in organization people who have navigation system, who know exactly what they want in their life, what are their goals, and what is the company goal, right? And that they will be aligned with the company mission, with company vision, and they see exactly how helping company grow, they can achieve their personal goals and also their professional goals. So when we qualify people, it is important so they are goal-driven person, that they big goal. They have not just some goals like to like be okay with being mediocre, right? But we want people who are really want to improve their lives, because if they have big goals which drive them, which excite them, these goals will push them to be the best. It is not that they will compete, but they will be the best, comparing themselves with themselves yesterday, right? These people will want to learn, they will want to grow, they will want to build powerful teams. And these are the principles which are very important. And when they come to the company, driven, excited, wanting to provide more value, and also the next one, which is very important, people who want to grow, because companies always set the next plan, right? Next step, next goals. And only the way to achieve different results and have that a permanent change in results is to grow, right? And in order to grow, we have to change. In order to change our personal results, we have to grow and we have to change. And it is the same about company. In order to get company to the next level, we have to grow. Company have to grow. But the company is not just a building, right? Like every hotel or every organization. It is not a building. It is not tables or chairs or computers. Every organization is that organization because of the people who work there. So these people are there who, if we have the right people with the right attitude, big goals, right understanding where they're going, where they want to bring company, with leadership skills, and people who don't compete but create, this all will help us to build the right atmosphere of people who help each other, who build their leadership skills, who are ready to learn constantly, because we cannot stay the same place. We are learning and we improving and we move forward. Or if we don't learn, we just disintegrate. We go backwards. So these are the principles which will have everybody in HR department to choose the right people and make the company to have that beautiful atmosphere of support and collaboration and achieve their big results. Thank you very much for inviting me for this conference. This was just a short uh, my part of contribution to your beautiful event.
Hi, sir. Sir,
Thank you,
Thank you
Elena
very much.
Apolkova, ma'am, who is mindset and leadership coach from UK. The speech was short, but it was very useful for all of us. We enjoyed it and we are enriched because of its information. So thank you, ma'am. Now, uh, sir, do you want? Uh, Now I would like to invite Honorable Session Chair, Principal Dr. Meenakshi Mehra ma'am about her views on this topic. Please, ma'am, welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. And good evening, Elena ma'am from India. Uh, it was really a pleasure to listen to your speech, which was really short. But I would like to ask you again and invite you again on behalf of Betkar sir and everyone to have in depth of this topic, because it's a very in-depth topic in which we would like to listen more and learn more in depth in future if you have time permit, and we would love to learn more. But I really appreciate your points that you have covered in your short speech, like if we have to grow, we have to work synchronizingly, I mean the employer and the employee both together towards a common goal. And in order to go, as you said, we have to grow together and we have to bring a change together. And if we have to bring a change, we have to be innovative, as you said. So, and in order to bring innovation, again, we have to work towards a common goal. So that is what an HR do. This is really what we miss out in our HRs today, that they are working towards the common goal of the employee and the employer. They are the middle people, which we just overlook into that. But ma'am, I would really appreciate that if we could get, more in-depth points and more knowledge on this part, because it's a very interesting point and very it's very important for us to learn more in today's world. And because we overlook certain points as an admin also, or if we are working into any organization, we just overlook these HR people and their mindset. Because if we work together, then only we can go towards the common goal and bring more empowerment and more growth towards the same to the company. And if the company grows, we will grow. We don't The people don't understand that. So I'm looking forward for more sessions like this. Again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time and joining us today and giving so much of knowledge. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, I will be happy to speak more about this topic, because it is really needs to go more in depth. And we can organize another time, and I will share with you this perspective. And of course, it should be HR should work together with mindset, because mindset is 90% of success, and only 10% is the rest: skills, knowledge. Because see, if people have a positive mindset, attitude, they can learn even, right? They come and they want to learn. They have the open mindset. They want to succeed. They want to collaborate, and they can learn meantime. Yes, many things. But if the person has all the skills, right, and has even experience, but come with negative mindset, who is toxic, who doesn't respect other people, who even cannot hear, right? Because he is all in his own and thinks that he is only right. Yes, like all different aspects. So this person will just ruin everything. Like he will just ruin that environment which already had been created before. That's why mindset is the key. And I will be happy to share with you in our future events about this topic, and also answer your questions. And I also have events. Yes.
Proceed.
Yes. So we will organize next events, and I will be happy to share with you my perception about this related topic. Thank you very much.
Madam, I'm not very happy to hear you. And Professor Badyotin Ahmad has rightly mentioned mindset in HR. It's irrespective of the background, what background we have. We are working for the institution or a household or for a housemaid makers. It is a very, very fundamental aspect of the common man's life also. So I already mentioned the HR mindset is very much needed to all levels, from household to the industrial. Thank you so much for a wonderful concept of mindset in HR. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you very much. I am with your permission. I have to leave now, because I wasn't planned be today. I just joined to share with you something short, and I will be happy to see you again. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
And
Thank
all
you,
the
ma'am.
best.
Thank you, ma'am. Very nice information, motivation. I'm a Professor Dr. Baliram Pawar, Maharashtra.
Yeah,
Your
great.
session
I
has
will
been
have
nice,
more
ma'am.
chances
Good
to
enough
meet
to
you.
hear from you. It has been nice to hear from you. It was really informative enough. There were certain queries, but no doubt, whenever you are coming next time, we'll be asking up our queries from you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
you are
thank you
most
so much.
welcome.
Thank you so much for
Yes.
giving us a different HR
Thank you so much,
managers.
ma'am.
Now these days in Pune University, the new subject has been introduced like psychology for HR managers. So you have given a different approach for the same, and definitely it's really beneficial for us. And in coming time, expecting more sessions from you, and would like to get your knowledge for the same. Thank you so much, ma'am.
I'm
You are
sorry I'm
most welcome.
interrupting in between, but I would request all the participants to please appreciate Alina ma'am. And she's stuck up in some work and she has, come to this session. So we would appreciate ma'am. Thank you. Please continue with your work. And we will just only one query. The people are very much, excited to learn more on this. How can we, get back to you with the queries that these people have in the online session right now?
Yes, please. I think that organizer of this event can organize another one, and I will come and will be happy to answer your questions, and we can go deeper to this topic. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you very
so
much again, and have a beautiful day. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Is, okay. Is there anybody who wants to discuss on the topic? Now I hand over this session to Dr. Meenakshi Mehra ma'am for further process.
Thank you so much, sir. And I really appreciate everybody having so much of queries. But we need to appreciate the other people time also. And because we are in different time zones and different era where we have to see to it where people are comfortable in answering the questions, and we should respect that. So thank you so much. And again, I would request Dr. Bitkar sir, so please note down all the queries including mine for this particular session, so that you can forward it to Elena ma'am and we can get the answers for the pertaining to the session today that we had. But I really appreciate what she told in a very short session, where she told about the mindsets, and I really believe that that depends a lot on every one of us. If we don't come to the same mindset, if we are from a different mindset and working in a wrong organization, it's a total disaster. So yes, we have to have the same mindset of the people, and it's very difficult in today's world. And coming towards into our education system where we are working, it's very difficult to get these kind of people, because nowadays even I'm getting people who are from IT company, or they're just coming for time pass. So they don't have that same mindset. They just want to earn money, but they don't have the mindset. So yes, so we don't go towards a common criteria. There is no goal. There is no empowerment. There is no similar goals of the employee and the employer. Of course, yes. So that's why even I wanted to learn more, but she was running short of time. But yes, I do agree with her that in order to grow, we have to change. And in order to change, we have to bring innovation. And in order to bring an innovation, we have to work together to the common goal. Then only we can grow as an organization, as an employee. So with this, I guess we need to still learn more and think more on this topic, where even I'm new for this topic, so I don't have any other commitment on this. So anybody else who would like to speak on that, please, for that. And yes, again, Bitkar sir, thank you so much for giving the opportunity to come and listen to this beautiful webinar today. Thank you so much, sir.
That's the beauty of the HR. I mean, actually, that's the beauty of the HR, that the HR people have this tactics of communicating and making people to change the mindset. Actually, the madam has really, Elena madam has really a very short presentation. That is the art, really, making everything to be bundled up in a small time, in a very minute time. She has covered a very big how things get disastrous when human beings are not playing a role of human being. That is what she has concluded. That's a wonderful
That's true,
presentation.
sir. It's a very vast topic, but unless and until you don't know the crux of it, there is no point. I believe I cannot comment on that unless and until I should know the basic crux of that topic of being an HR. Yes, you are correct that it's a very vast topic, and they have been, she has covered many things. But again, I have so many question marks in my mind because yet the questions were not answered. So yes, I'll be passing on the questions to Bhaskar sir, so he can, get these answers from Elena madam.
You're right, but the thing is,
Sir, do you want to make any concluding comment and concluding speech? Thank you, sir, for your comments, for your persistence, and for your tenacity through which you are trying to enrich all of us. Now, at the end, I would like to extend my vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank the chief organizer and chairperson of this international conference, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar, sir. As I have told before that because of him, we are able to listen national and international speakers and we could enrich ourselves. So thank you, sir. I would like to thank session chair, Honorable Principal Dr. Meenakshi Mehra ma'am for her valuable discussion and for her remarks on the keynote speech which is made by Honorable Elena Apalkova ma'am from UK. Thank you, ma'am. I also thank Elena ma'am who has delivered her short speech, but it included very important points related with the topic. So we could get lot of information through it also. So thanks to Elena ma'am. I also thank Dr. Badiuddin sir, um, Dr. Premlata ma'am, Dr. Nidhi ma'am, Dr. Balaji for taking part in the discussion and making it more valuable for all of us. I also thank all the participants from all over the country and also from abroad. And now at the end, I request all participants, please fill feedback link to have your certificate. And with the kind permission of the chief organizer, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Bedkar sir, I declare here that today's conference is over. Thanks to all.
Thank you so much, sir. As usual, you bring something new into our dish all the time. Like we have the excitement, what's next is there in today's menu. And the similar time, we had our dinner, and you have something great for all of us. So we are very excited and energetic to listen something new from your end. And really, you are doing a great thing for society.
You are not audible. Hello. Voice man.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really, yes. Thank you so much. I'm very honored to be here, and thank you for the invitation. And if you allow me, I can share my presentation. Hold on. So can you tell me if you see the presentation? Are you able?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, as I was being introduced, I'm an author, a speaker, a trainer, and a consultant here in Mexico. I'm based in Mexico, in Querétaro, in a city that it's 3 hours north from Mexico City, and I've been the past 11 years. I've been working on the human potential development arena. Before that, I spent 20 years in the corporate world, in marketing and communications, in advertising, in transnational companies. So I'm pretty familiar with the corporate world and different companies that deal with people. So I'm very, very honored to be here and to be able to share with you some of the learnings I've had, and one of my passions, which is right now bringing emotional responsibility to organizations. And one of the things that I've found out through my life, because I've also went through breast cancer, and I have a chronically ill son, and I've been through 2 divorces, and I used to have this mindset of, you just keep going, cold, rational, very executive-like, goal-oriented, not connected with my feelings. And these personal life tsunamis that I say, like these big waves of change in my life, have taught me that there where emotions are not welcomed or listened to, the human spirit fades and withers. Human spirit needs emotions, and it needs to express its emotions. And one of the things that I've learned working with companies and organizations, and having worked within a company and organization, is that right now the workplace is somewhere where emotions are not welcome, and this is not healthy. And these numbers can assess that what I'm saying is true. 80% of people in these are global surveys. This is not only Mexico, but 80% of people say that they are unhappy at work. I mean, imagine that. We spend more than half of our life in the workplace, and we're not happy. We're there just going through the motions, and because we have to work, we have to make a living, but we're not happy. And I think that's very, very sad, because there's a lot of human potential that it's being unused because of this, and people are sad and are depressed. 64% of people declare that they have some symptoms of stress or anxiety. 45% of people think that they are going to quit soon. As soon as they can, they want to quit. And the other 39% has this attitude about, the silent resignation. Well, I'm here because there's nowhere else I can go, and I have to earn a living, so I will do the minimum required to go through the motions and be able to make ends, the ends meet on the month, and that's it. But I'm not bringing my strengths, my passion, my creativity, my initiative to the workplace. I'm just, surviving. And that's called silent resignation or quiet quitting. And in Mexico, I'm not proud to say that Mexico holds the #1 place in the world in burnout, which is, it's awful. People are really, really getting sick, getting depressed, and the absenteeism because of burnout and because of stress-related illnesses is very, very high. And this happens all over the world. But I can talk from experience because Mexico is the #1 country that holds this. And the #1 reason behind these numbers is toxic work environments. So, the corporate world, this is a very, very good case to state that the corporate world has demonstrated it is highly dysfunctional. The way that the corporate world was set in the last century was very driven only by results, and the main goal is profit. People are not taken into consideration other than they are resources to get profits, and this is not sustainable anymore. I think that the winds are changing, and people are not willing, and it's not healthy that we stay in the same way. So I'm advocating for something different, because even though we keep saying, and I keep hearing this, and I'm pretty sure in India happens the same. Like, you don't come to make friends, you come to work. And, don't show your emotions, because that makes you cannot be vulnerable in the workplace, because that's dangerous. That's unprofessional. So we've lived like trying to separate our emotions from our mind in the workplace. And that is the most toxic strategy that we can have, because we're whole, we're human beings, and emotions are the engine that drives all our human decisions, whether we know it or not, whether we like it or not. It doesn't matter. Emotions is the fuel that moves us. So work is 100% emotional experience. It is. And we've been trying to separate and to negate that reality. And that's what has the work world so sick. So, a company, it's no longer feasible to think that a company can prosper in the long term if the employees are sick, are exhausted, are suffering, or are struggling to survive emotionally or physically. I mean, it's not sustainable in the long term. So genuine interest and concern for the well-being of the employees and all the stakeholders around the company is very necessary to sustain the business. It is a must. And we need, as human resources people or managers of people or team leaders or, if you're at a C-level management position, we need to understand this. And we need to start working towards this. Because I really do think, and I'm very optimistic, I know, but I really do think, this is a choice that I want to believe and I want to create in the workplace in Mexico, Latin America, and the rest of the world. We're transitioning between an era that was dominated by fear, by verticality. Decisions came from the top. You couldn't ask, you didn't talk, you said yes, sir. And with a lot of fear that someone's going to take my place, and we're competing with our neighbor on the next chair in the workplace. And that is toxic. We're in survival mode. We're intoxicating our bodies and our minds, and we cannot think correctly, and we're not creative, and we're in survival mode. And we're moving from that paradigm into one that is more about love and collaboration, because I really do think love has a lot to do with work. So love and collaboration are the new paradigm, and I'm very passionate about this, and I'm very convinced about this, and I know there's evidence about this. So I'm so happy and so thankful that I'm able to share this with you. So, in the past century, where all the development of industry and organizations and corporations has grown so much, we've learned little by little, because I think we're slow learners in the world as a whole, because we had this paradigm of profit, that we couldn't see that we were destroying the world, the environment, Mother Earth. So suddenly it became so evident that was not sustainable, that we established, ecological or environmental responsibility in organizations. And we made that a very important piece that organizations need to take care of. And then a little bit later, we found out that, there was child labor, there were, cities or towns that were being depleted and that were not taken care of because of the organizations or the corporations' work there. And it became evident that social responsibility was a must. And I think, and I believe, and I'm proposing this, that now we're coming to a place that we need to look inside, and we need to acknowledge that we've not treated well our people inside, and people inside are struggling, are suffering, are not happy, are getting sick, and that's not sustainable. So I think that the third pillar for sustainability nowadays, it's emotional responsibility. We need to take care of the hearts of people, and the company needs to have a more transcendental purpose other than just making profit. So it takes care of the environment, it takes care of society, and it takes care of its people. So this is my proposal. So I talk about emotionally responsible organizations because work is an emotional experience. And I have a model. I'm not inventing the wheel. I'm just taking some elements that I think that are needed, are a must in companies, and that as HR people, we are responsible of bringing this to the company and advocating for this. This is a model that I call happy. I know it's not a Y at the end, it's an I, and you're going to see why, but it's easier to remember. This is the happy model for emotionally responsible organizations. And first of all is we need to have happiness and well-being at the center of the strategy and of the organizational culture. So it's not only profit, before profit, happiness and well-being internally and externally, happiness and well-being of all stakeholders should be a strategic imperative. And we need to build cultures around this. Then, and I'm going to go deeper into this, so I'm just mentioning them right now, and then I will go deeper into this. But then we need to build anti-fragile teams. I don't know if you're familiar with this term of anti-fragility. It was coined by Nassim Taleb, and he talks about anti-fragile systems. So, you know, the muscle system is an anti-fragile system. Let me explain why. When you want to build stronger muscles and bigger muscles, you need to break the fiber of the muscle. So you exercise and you break the fiber. And this breaking, when it heals, it strengthens the muscle and it makes it stronger and bigger and better. So anti-fragile systems are like this. Our systems, or can be human systems, nature systems that get stronger and thrive in chaos and crisis. And this is what we need to build internally in organizations. Anti-fragile teams that are agile, that are resilient, that can, navigate adversity and uncertainty in a healthy way, and have what I call, what it's coined in psychology, like post-traumatic growth, this constant growth thanks to adversity and crisis, and that I'm going to go deeper in later. So anti-fragile teams. Then we have positive leadership. And I mean, the name is very clear, but it has to do with leadership that takes care of the people and that is based on strengths, and it serves its constituents. And we're going to go into more detail here. Then obviously we're going to have powerful results because there's research behind this and we can measure it. And it has a very positive impact if we know what is being measured. But we can have powerful results, and as HR people, we are, we have that in our power to make a case that this is a very good idea for the business. And then I talk about inclusion and diversity of emotions. Diversity and inclusion is very popular and it's very important, yes, but I'm talking about diversity and inclusion of emotions because of what I've told you before, because we've left emotions out of the workplace and they need to be integrated, and we need to learn how to deal with them in a healthy way so they can power the organization. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper into each of these points. So happiness and well-being culture at the center of the strategy. This includes all stakeholders, includes obviously employees, but also, suppliers and clients and shareholders. We need to aim at the well-being of all of the group, And this has to do with conscious capitalism principles. So I do believe we need to move to that place, and it's possible, and it's on us that we can make it happen. So this has to do with building, having very clear values, and then setting very clear behaviors that, build on those values. We need to have practices that promote the whole person well-being. And here I refer to the SPIRE model from Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, who is my mentor and my colleague, that he talks about, spiritual well-being, physical well-being, intellectual well-being, relational well-being, and emotional well-being. So those 5 elements, or those 5 areas of the life, need to be taken care of. And yes, within the organization, you can take care of the spiritual well-being of your people, having a clear transcendental purpose that inspires people, and having people using their strengths, that nurtures spiritual well-being. Physical, obviously, having programs in place to promote a healthy habits, and having a physically healthy environment. Intellectual, you make sure that your people is growing, is learning, and is curious, and so you promote curiosity, you promote innovation, and that also fuels well-being and happiness. Relational well-being, and we're going to talk about this, but relational well-being is so important. We tend to be like, no, I'm not having friends here, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but having nurturing and enriching relationships within the workplace can work magic. And obviously emotional intelligence, emotional well-being. So making sure that we know how to deal with conflictive emotions, with painful emotions, and we know how to manage them, and also how can we promote positive emotions. Respect, collaboration, and purpose, for sure. Joy, camaraderie, and harmony. So we're not competing with each other, we're co-creating the results together. And the more we understand this, the better we're going to be. Justice, obviously, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and acknowledgement. People need to feel valued. It's so important on a human basic level, and that also fuels engagement in people. Obviously, make sure to have aligned policies and key performance indicators and metrics that can measure this, and that can build the case that this is a good idea and that this brings results. And obviously, rituals, reminders, and repetition. And this has to do with, within the culture, building the rituals. How do we celebrate success? How do we manage failure? How do we celebrate birthdays? All that has to do with the rituals of the internal culture, and having reminders and making sure we have repetition so it becomes a habit. And what's the H role in this specific part? Well, you have to be a voice of change at the management level. That's part of your role, pushing for strategies and decisions that align with this emotional responsibility. Creates a strategic position. If the organization doesn't have it yet, within HR, a chief well-being officer or a chief happiness officer, or whatever you want to call it, but someone that is directly linked to senior management that can, make sure and oversee that well-being and happiness is the main focus, and that has a budget and is responsible for making this happen. Building a business case, for the practices, and showing the long-term benefits to the organization, so the organization keeps investing in this. Actively promoting policies and practices that prioritize well-being and happiness, and implementing programs that support mental and physical health in the workplace and work-life balance. So this is part of the role in this specific point. Now, talking about anti-fragile teams, collaboration, belonging, feeling that you belong to a team, having a growth mindset. So there are a lot of cultures, corporate cultures, that punish mistakes and that it's averse to failure. And I mean, rationally, you can understand why, but we need to bring failure, normalize failure as part of success. And there's no way that an organization can move, gives these quantum leaps and learns and advances if we don't allow any space for failure and we punish failure and we look for guilt, who has the guilt, and we need to promote a growth mindset. We need to promote curiosity. We need to promote spaces where experimentation and failure is okay. And I'm not talking about the whole process, but spaces, and create this that, it's okay if you make a mistake. We can all learn from it. When you don't accept mistakes, when you're afraid that you're going to be punished, it's not that you make less mistakes. It's that you don't say anything. And that can be, worse, because nobody learns. It can be... Sorry? It can be repeated. And then nobody benefits. So, and then it can become even bigger. So, okay, growth mindset, resilience, helping the team become agile and adaptable, and having this post-traumatic growth that I was talking about. So, having friends at work, it's the #1 predictor of job satisfaction. And this is a Gallup survey that they make about friendship in the workplace. You can look for it. Having a friend increases engagement and overall job satisfaction. So it is very, very important. It gives you, as my teacher Tal Ben Shahar says, an island of sanity within the workplace. I mean, obviously, you're going to be dealing with problems and with stress and solving things within your work, and having someone that you can vent and that can hear you, and you can release some of the steam, and that you can get your mind off the problem for a small period of time while you go for coffee and talk to a friend for 5 minutes. That can work magic in preventing also burnout. So having friends at work is very important. So what's the HR role to build, in this commitment to build anti-fragile teams? Focus on developing resilient, high-performing teams. How? With training, team building activities, create spaces, create the environment that allows for friendship. You cannot force people to have friends, but you can allow and create environments or opportunities for friendships to flourish. Obviously, this growth mindset, encourage a culture that is of continuous learning, and that the only way to become resilient and adaptable is by learning to fail. So it's important that we embed this on the culture. Offering training and resources to enhance emotional intelligence throughout all the organization and all the employee levels. So this is very, very important. Now, positive leadership. Obviously, we're talking about leaders that bring this energy to the team, that builds up and fuels the energy and the wanting to build something together. And these obviously, these are leaders that are very inspiring, that have the purpose and the meaning of what we're doing very clear, and can transmit it to the rest of the team and get them excited about it, and link my personal needs or my mission as an individual with the mission of the team and the company. So that's a skill. and positive leadership. Positive leaders have the skill. Obviously, they need to be very high on emotional intelligence and empathy. They need to have very good skills of communication and be able to guide people, not to direct, but to guide people. They need to know the importance of acknowledgement and recognition. They need to be of support and service to the people. So this is servant leadership. I'm not being served by my team so I can shine. My job is to make my team shine. And as a byproduct, I will shine, but this is not the first intention. And creating psychological safety, and I'm going to do a double click on this because psychological safety is a concept that is so important. Amy Edmondson has studied very deeply, and she found out, and she did a study that is called the Aristotle study in Google, but she also started her work studying medical teams in hospitals. And what she found out, it's very interesting because she was looking at different teams in hospitals to see what characteristics made a team make less mistakes, less medical mistakes. And she found out that her data, what her data firstly told her was that the teams that had the most toxic environment made less mistakes. And she was like, what? This doesn't make sense. And then a light bulb, shined and said, oh, now I get it. Yes, if you have a toxic environment, it's not that you make less mistakes. It's that you report less mistakes because you're afraid of what's going to happen. And so she redid, she researched a little bit more. And yes, she found out that toxic environments, toxic bosses, and a place where you don't feel psychological safety doesn't allow for people to admit mistakes. But people even make more mistakes because they are all stressed out. So psychological safety has to do with being able to express your feelings, ask questions and make suggestions, admit your mistakes and learn from them, be able to ask for help, take risks and decisions that you have, you know that you can take decisions and take some level of risks within your role, and that you can dissent and share different ideas and not necessarily agree with your boss without the fear of retaliation and knowing that you will be heard. And I don't know you, but I think that this is the definition of a healthy workplace and a healthy team. And if a leader is able to create this within his team, he's going to have high performance team. So what Amy Emerson found in Google is that the main characteristic that high performance teams have is psychological safety. So this is very important. And we need to break a paradigm. We need to break this paradigm that if I show my emotions, if I show that I'm vulnerable and I'm authentic, then I'm gonna become less credible and my people are not going to respect me. And that's a risk for me as a leader. No, this is not true. This is a paradigm that we need to change. Showing your vulnerability and being authentic does not diminish your credibility. It doesn't reduce your authority as a leader. On the contrary, it helps you build both. Because when you are authentic and when you show that you're also human and that you're also vulnerable, and you model this to your team, you become more credible, more respected. People, you are more coherent. You build trust, and all this builds a psychological safety environment. So it is very important that we change the paradigm about vulnerability and authenticity in the workplace. And what's the H role here? To align the hiring process to get the best talent that has these skills, or help the talent within to develop these skills. So facilitate leadership development programs that emphasize the importance of emotional intelligence and psychological safety, and coach leaders to be empathic, emotionally responsible, and supportive of their team. So build the infrastructure and give the resources so people can learn and develop their leadership skills so this can happen. And something that I say, because I work in the Happiness Studies Academy, and I'm the executive manager of a global community of the Alumni and Business Club of the Happiness Studies Academy, more than 80 countries, more than 3,000 people. And I work with a team of 24 volunteers. I was a volunteer at the beginning also. And working with volunteers has, made very visible that we should treat people in organizations, our employees, not as employees, but as volunteers. And let me tell you why. I'm not advocating for not paying people. You need to have a fair payment, obviously. But why do I say this? Because when you are a volunteer, if you have volunteered for an organization, you would know this. When you are a volunteer and you're willing to give your time and energy, and your resources, your strengths to an organization without being paid, it is because you connect with a higher purpose of that organization. You believe that you can bring something valuable to the table and that you can add to making that higher purpose possible. You know that you're part of a team, that it's all connected to that higher purpose, and that it's going to work together and help each other to bring that into fruition. You admire and you trust your leader. And all these elements make you want to be there, and be willing to do the work, even if they're not paying you, because you're so connected, you're so engaged. It's so powerful. And this is the way that leaders should treat their people. Because, even if you're paying them, they are volunteers because they voluntarily go to work. I mean, I hope, no one is putting a gun against your head to go to work. You could leave whenever you want. And, the Great Resignation at the, when 2022, when people massively resigned all over the world, showed us this. People can decide not to come to work anymore. People can decide not to give their time, their energy, their strengths to the organization anymore because they don't feel like it. So we do want people to be able to come to work happily and, having this mindset that people really are volunteers, and you want them to want to come to work, not only because you're paying them a check that they can pay their basic needs, but because they are connected to the endeavor of the organization. That's pure gold. So we need to, work more on this mindset. And this has to do with emotional diversity and inclusion, and having this into mind. And what's the HR role here? Ensuring that the workplace embraces emotional diversity and recognizes the emotional aspects of work and the importance of paying attention to this. Fostering an environment where, we learn how to emotionally regulate, and we're aware of our emotions and we can manage them. And this is valued and practiced, and we teach people how to do it because we don't know how to do it. We weren't told in school. Our parents, in most of the cases, don't know also how to do it, so they didn't teach us. And this is such an important tool for life and for work that we need to make sure that we are giving the tools to people, and creating policies that support emotional expression and understanding within the organization. And it goes back to the culture, goes back to the psychological safety. So everything is intertwined. and powerful results. And I mean, this is building a case is not as hard as you think. Many HR people tell me, it's hard to convince upper management. They feel that this like well-being, happiness thing is a fuzzy thing. They cut budgets. The first thing they cut is these kind of initiatives. When you know the objectives of the company, when you know the pain points, what is, do you have a lot of turnover? Do you have a lot of absenteeism? You know, if you're in HR and you're internally, you know what the nuts and bolts are and what are the main pains. You can address this, and you can experiment, and you can have at the beginning small interventions that you make sure you're measuring the correct indicator, and see and measure what the result is and how this impacts the organizational main metrics, so you can build a case. So here are some examples, and this is, MIT has done research where when organizations put employee well-being, satisfaction, and happiness on the top priority, they have 12% more productivity. Companies, organizations can have up to 22% more profit, says Gallup. 300% more innovation, Harvard Business Review. So when you have an emotionally responsible organization and psychological safety, people allow themselves to think out of the box because they're no longer in survival mode, and they can start to create something new. And this, gets launched very, very, very impactfully. 70% less stress. Great Place to Work. This is a survey of a company called Great Place to Work. 125% less burnout, according to Harvard Business Review, and 60% less turnover. This is from Forbes. So, I mean, let's say you get half these numbers, a third of these numbers. Isn't it worth it? Wouldn't the organization benefit at all? And wouldn't people be much more happy? So as HR professionals and working with companies, either as a consultant or internally, we need to make sure that we're integrating the key performance indicators and emotional responsibility, the KPIs, and daily operations. We need to make sure that we're linking them and that we're measuring it, demonstrating the impact. It's tangible, the tangible impact of emotional responsible practices. Continuously monitoring for effectiveness, and have data-driven improvements. It's not only because my heart says so, it's because numbers are telling me that it is the correct way to go. So we need to be based in numbers if we want upper management to buy into this. And gathering feedback, constant feedback from employees to enhance and improve the programs. So this is the model that I'm proposing, the happy model. And I mean, imagine a world where people don't dread Mondays. Imagine that all over the world, on Monday morning, people are excited to go to work because they feel they are collaborating and putting work that has a meaning, and that they are helping to improve the world, and that they are helping their world also to be improved, their personal world, and that they have friends at work, and that they can be themselves and bring their gifts, their personal strengths, their ideas to the workplace, and that they can have this sense of belonging in the workplace. Imagine a world where people didn't dread to go to work, where we didn't have zombies doing work, but we did have engaged, happy human beings doing the work. Can you imagine that? I mean, if if we have come with so many, improvements, technological improvements and improvements to the life of people, and created so many products, some of them not so good, but a lot of them that improve lives and that make our lives easier. Now imagine that half of the time that we're in the workplace, we feel energized, we feel happy, that we can say, I love my work and my work loves me back. I think this is a very, very, very powerful purpose. And this is my purpose. And I want to let people know that this is possible and this is achievable. And I want to get people on board. So I hope you get on board of this. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm open to questions. And I'm happy to be here and happy to connect also with all of you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your detailed speech on the topic HR and their role in building emotionally responsible organization. You have shared with us your valuable information about the topic. Now I request all the participants, if you have any question and if you want to discuss, please.
I'm more than happy to answer questions and hear about you. Or you can write it in the comments.
Yes, sir. I would like to ask a question to Sandy, ma'am.
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm from USA, so definitely it's morning for me, but I'm not so sure the timing for you.
Yes, morning.
Fine. I loved the details that you mentioned about the HR roles and all the details. My question to you is, being a promising employee, when you are dedicated to your work and you are a very good, important asset to the employer, and yet you have to face the toxic environment, and that is harming your growth for whatever the politics that we face because of our bosses' insecurity and whatnot. So in that situation, how we are supposed to handle the situation? In my case, unfortunately, after struggling a lot, I couldn't find out the proper reason to stick to my workplace. I faced a lot, and finally I decided to quit. So I quit my last workplace after achieving a lot, but was not given the proper the credit or the promising profession for, I mean, the growth for my profession. And unfortunately I had to quit, but I felt somewhere this shouldn't be there every time. I'm very ambitious, and every time if I have to face such a things, how many jobs I'm supposed to quit? So how can I handle such a situation? So could you please enlighten me on it?
Oh, Manisha, this is such a good question, because I think, a lot of people are experimenting this. And I really do think we're in the middle of a transition, of a transition in the workplace. And yes, we can go both ways. We can go, technology 100% driven and leaving the human part behind, which I hope we don't go that way, and I hope we choose wisely. And the other way, which is the way that I'm proposing. But I do think that right now we're in the middle of the transition, and there are still many, many companies that don't do this and that don't take this into consideration. That's why I'm advocating all over the world for this, because I do think what's going to happen, and yes, I hear you, because you had to quit. It was the most healthy way to deal with that. I bet you tried and you stayed and you persisted, and then you said, you know what, this is not healthy for me, I need to leave. And that's the correct thing to do. And I think that companies that don't buy into this new paradigm are going to end up with no bench, with no talent, with no people. Because more and more, and I see it with younger generations. I'm Generation X, but I can see that millennials and younger people are less willing to undertake bad treatment, and that's a good thing. We say that, oh, they are so fragile. They cannot handle stress. No, I think they are bringing a very important piece into place. It's that they are no longer willing to take toxicity, and I think that's a good thing. And I think that companies are going to come to a place where either they understand this and they make the changes and they prepare their leadership and they or change it if needed, in order to to be a more emotionally responsible organization, a more healthy organization, or they're gonna end up with no talent, and that's gonna be the make it or break it. We're not there yet. We're building it, and I'm sorry that you have found these kind of situations. And yes, of course, this can go both ways, from the top down and from the bottom up, and bringing this awareness to our teammates and our leaders, and trying to build within what is in my reach, within what is in my square meter of influence. I can try to build this, because I'm, even if you're not in a leadership position, you can be a leader internally. It doesn't matter if you don't have the title. So, yes, it is a crusade. And yes, it's not easy always, but thankfully I see companies that are acknowledging this and that are starting to make steps towards this, and this, happiness and well-being boom. I'm really, I really believe that this is not like a fashion, a temporary thing. It's here to stay, and it's up to us to to make it that way. So what you can do, you can work on your emotional intelligence, your own emotional regulation, and being conscious of what is it that you really need, that you really want, that you can contribute, up until what point is like, there's no use of leaving my energy here because it's not going where I wanted to go and where I believe it should go. And yes, you need to make sometimes tough decisions. And what I'm saying is, don't make decisions in an emotionally heightened state. You need to process the emotions and then think, with the frontal cortex, and make decisions that are good for you. But yes, we can all become advocates of this and become emotionally responsible leaders within our organizations without having a leadership role. And this can go both ways, from leaders that get it and that start doing the changes in their companies, and from people in the baseline that are also pushing for this change. But yes, we're in the transition, and this is work still to be done.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I hope and pray for that transition so soon. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Is there anybody who wants to ask any question?
Somebody raised their hand.
Hello, good evening, Dr. Bedkar, sir, and good evening to all the organizing committee, and good evening the resource person today we are having. Really a wonderful explanation, and in depth you had gone with. I like that concept of anti-fragile, And really, to build something, we have to break something. That is a great thing. My questions are, two questions are there. The first question, as a HR, the very important job when the person enters into the organization, we have to judge that person, because whether he is fitting to the requirements of the institute, that organization, that is a big question. Because once someone is there in the organization, we can recognize their emotions and all aspects, but to measure such a person, it becomes very difficult, at the entry point. So how to judge that person, its emotionality and what kind of, because many of the times people are coming in the beginning, they're very enthusiastic and very promising, very promising. But when they start working in organization, then very soon we realize that, it is of no use what we are having employment. And mind you, if we are not detaining and retaining those persons, it also shows a bad, a reputation of that organization. So we try to build them. Sometimes people build by with the organization, they grow, definitely they grow. But once they grow, they are leaving the organization and joining the better opportunity. So it becomes a kind of teaching institute where we build the person and the person is lost. So many of the time it happens. So two questions are very important. The first one, at entry point, what we should do as a HR, because I'm having HR under me, and the HR she's doing a wonderful job, but many of the times, we feel that, we are reaching to the wrong person. So how to neutralize this, one thing. And second thing, how to retain people, once they are trained, they get better opportunity, the hikes in the payments and the, remunerations, and they are just leaving the job, without much this. And there is no emotion and attachment over here. We are talking about HR. HR is like a mother and taking care of the whole family, managing the all aspects, from working class to the manager class. Everywhere, she's playing a wonderful role, or he's playing a role. So, yes, definitely. These are my two questions, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much for your wonderful expression about the, all these aspects. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. And this is something that, yes, everyone all over the world is struggling with, hiring and then retaining. And what I can say, I love the metaphor that you said about HR being like a mother, because, yes, what I've learned, what I've come to learn is that every time and every new generation, they are staying less in the companies. And we, like mothers, yes, we build them to be their best selves, and then we need to let them go. And this is, I know it's hard, and it seems like, all this time invested in creating, in building this person, and now she's leaving. But it's like a mother, it is the right thing to do, because you have two choices. Either you don't invest in people and you let them as they came in, and so they leave and they didn't bring anything to the table, or you build them and you help them grow, and in the process they will give a lot of value to the company, and yes, probably they will leave. And this is a reality that it needs to be dealt with. But the more how do you say? I lost the word, but the more you are really interested in helping this person shine, the more engagement you will have. Yes, you cannot guarantee that they will not leave, and every time, even less. Our parents or our grandparents, they knew if they stayed in a company, they could retire and have a good retirement. Now that this is not a reality anymore, so we cannot ask for people, to stay all their lives in the company, even if we would like to, because the reality is that there are some surveys that say that new generations are going to change careers, not only jobs. They are going to change careers like 5 to 7 times in their lifetime. So this is a reality that we need to learn to deal with. And yes, I think, from a retention perspective, the more they feel taken into consideration, the more they feel they are learning and growing and developing, the more they feel that they are taking into account and that they have a career path, and the more belonging they feel to the company, the longer they will stay. But we cannot guarantee they're going to stay for a very long period, because this is a reality for new generations. This is not happening, and we need to learn to deal with that. And that's also a paradigm that we need to change. And from hiring, I think there are some questions. There's not a bulletproof questionnaire or interview, but there are some questions that you can do regarding how this person has faced different hardships and different emotionally challenging things in their lives that can give you an idea of where they are in their emotional development and what the opportunity areas might be. But asking questions about their personal lives, their challenges, their learnings in life, how they deal with failure, that can give you an idea. And there are some even psychological questionnaires that you can make. Obviously, you have no guarantees, and there's always a risk. But you at least can make sure that you covered asking these kind of questions that can give you an idea of how this person, how developed they have their emotional intelligence, and how well will they fit the organizational culture. I hope I answered. I know I don't have the answers you wanted, but I hope I answered.
Definitely what you said, it is not very confirmed what we are doing, whatever the methodology we are using, whether it will be soundproof or no, we are not sure about this. That is very correctly pointed out, ma'am. Thank you very much for your expressions. And definitely we would like to hear you in future.
Thank you so much.
Doing this international platform, and we can have a discussion and a very intelligent, the information we are getting. So thank you very much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Can I audible, sir? Yes. Firstly, I am very good evening, everybody. Firstly, Dr. Bedkar, sir, and their organized committee. Now, especially thank for today keynote speaker, very excellent speaking and very important information to develop our knowledge, how to live the life with the connected with their speech. Some question is there, but I'm not asking the questions, but I have expression my views. It is a talented and very intellectual speech. Now today I have listening. When I listening the talking about the speeching, how man became a happy. There are explanation psychologically, relationships, each and every point out the today's speaker. I am very thankful. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much for your words. Thank you very much. I'm very happy that you find value.
Good. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Shankaraya, sir. Now, is there anybody else who wants to ask any question, please?
I'm happy to answer whatever comments you have.
I feel now there is not any question, and the speech was very detailed. There were many questions which were asked and got elaborate answer from honorable speaker. So this question answer session was very fruitful. Now I would like to invite Chief Organizer, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar sir, for his concluding remarks about the International E-Conference. Please, sir. Welcome. No, sir, she is not present.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to connect. We can connect in LinkedIn. We can keep the conversation going, and I hope you took some valuable, at least one point that you can start putting into practice.
Thank you, sir. Now I am here on behalf of the organizing committee of the International E-Conference and Shri Kumarswami College, Ausa, to present vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank today's honorable keynote speaker and chief guest, Sandy Mora ma'am, who spared her precious time and made an enlightening speech, because of which we are enriched. So thank you, ma'am. I also thank the participants who actively asked questions and because of whom we got lot of information through answers by the honorable speaker. So thank you, active participants. And I also thank the chief organizer, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Bedkar sir, because of whom we are able to listen speeches of national and international personalities, and we are getting lot of knowledge through it. Thank you, sir. I thank all the participants and delegates who are the soul of this international webinar series, because of whom the series is becoming successful, and we are exchanging our thoughts and views on various topics. So thank you, participants. And now I request participants, if you have not filled feedback form, please fill it to have your certificate. And at the end, with the permission of chief organizer, I declare here that today the international conference is over. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sir, please, link, sir, please. Yes.
Thank you so much. Happy to see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Sir, is that same link which was there prior, or some other link you will be sending? Yes, sir. Thank you.